In this question, we're being asked to solve the following by using the quadratic formula. And these are the answer choices, and you notice they have imaginary numbers. So let's check why we have to use the quadratic formula. If you graph this in your calculator, remember when you're solving, you're looking for solutions. You're trying to see where is this quadratic equation or graph touching the x-axis. So we graph this in our calculator, it would look something like this. So it doesn't show right away when I press enter. It's because you have to zoom out. And if you zoom out several times, you're going to notice that there is a parabola graph, but it is not touching the x-axis. It's floating a little bit higher up here. And because it's not touching the x-axis, it's creating those imaginary roots, which is why we need to use the quadratic formula to calculate those roots. So we're going to use negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that this is in ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 form, standard form. And it is. So we are going to select our a value. Our a value will be 1 because that's an imaginary 1 right here in the front. B value will be 4. C value will be 29. Once we select or grab our A, B, and C values, we're going to substitute them where they go. So we're going to have negative B value, which is negative 4 plus or minus square root. B value again, which is 4 minus 4 times A value, so 1 times C value, 29. All of this will be over 2A, so 2 times 1. And again, remember, we have x equals in the front because we're trying to find those x-intercepts or roots or zeros or solutions. However, you want to refer them. So the next step here is to focus on simplifying the discriminant. And the discriminant is this inside part of the square root, the b squared minus 4ac. If you have your calculator, just type it in. So you're going to have 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 29. And that will give you negative 100. So that results in you writing square root of negative 100. And then might as well simplify this other part as well. So we're going to have negative times 4, which is negative 4. And then 2 times 1, which is 2. So this is what you have so far. We are going to check the square root of negative 100 in our calculator. And just as a reminder, whenever you type a negative square root, it gives you this error, no real calculation. And that's because you have the negative inside. So what you're going to do is get into the habit of taking out that negative by writing an I outside of that square root. And then now you're going to look at, can I have square root of 100 by typing in your calculator? So square root of 100 is 10 automatically. 10 times 10 is 100, which means that you're going to replace the square root of 100 by writing the number 10. Technically, I mentioned in class we're taking the 10 times 10 outside of the square root, so it goes on the outside with the I. A lot of students were asking me, well, what goes on the inside of the square root once you take it out? Well, again, remember 10 times 10 was 100, so both of these come out as this 10 in the front, and there's nothing left, so there's no more square root needed. So we just have negative 4 plus or minus 10i over 2. And last thing is to do is to check if you can simplify these numbers. So 4, 2, and 10, they can all be divided by 2. If you divide 4 by 2, you get negative 2. If you divide 10 by 2, you get 5. And then if you divide 2 by 2, you get 1. And if I put this over 1, it's going to be just dividing by 1, which is going to result in the same thing. So here we have the answers that are going to be negative 2 plus 5i and negative 2 minus 5i. So this is how they will look separately. And this is how they will look together. And that's it.